All right, welcome everyone back to Onslaught Gaming. Today we have a wonderful episode in store for you with our over here our guest, Mr. Lee Zag, who, as we will go into depth on, won the first GT that here locally in Florida. So, you know, Lee, thank you for joining us, and
Glad
tell
to
us a little
be
bit
here.
about yourself to get started. Let the people know a little bit about you.
Uh, Lee Zag, avid Custodes and jet bike aficionado in the area. When we go through this, you guys might recognize me. I ran a very, very similar jet bike heavily list at Onslaught 10 and managed to take that one down as well. So I had to talk through that with Lewis. So I'm playing what I love and kind of shocked to be here after day zero of 11th. I kind of took the last 8-9 months of 10th off and kind of came out with a bang. So yeah. What do you think they want to know where I go?
No, that's great. I think that's wonderful, especially I'm sure a lot of people can relate to kind of, getting edition fatigue or, not wanting to, put their energy into 10th with 11th, being kind of slow drip fed to us over
Oh,
three or
I
four months.
wanted nothing to do with Satan spam or Defiler spam.
Yeah.
I noped right out of that.
We got, what was it? It was cheap knights, 4 Catans, and then triple Defilers and 5 Chaos armies. And then Land Raider Custodes somewhere in there. So it was just like almost a year straight of just stat checks across like 5 to 6 different armies.
Pretty much, yeah. I had, my last real games had been Crucible actually.
Oh wow!
And I played a few like random things for a couple, but I basically played no 40K after Crucible.
Yeah, it shows. Like you said, you're playing what you love, and you came out and you just absolutely killed it on, like you said, day zero, the opening weekend of the edition. So
yeah, there's four GTs opening weekend in the world.
Could you tell people were excited? They
huge excitement for the new edition, which is good. Overall, I think it's been pretty well received and positive.
And before we get too into it, what are your thoughts on the new edition? Because like a lot of data sheets didn't change, right? Like some slightly did, but so there's still
minor tweaks and adjusting for the edition. So overall, I think 11th was a step in the right direction. Overall, I think it is generally positive, right? Like I think the cover changes are good for the game. I do think there were some misses, right? Like some good things, like they toned down stratagem stacking right within a phase on a unit, with great change. No rerolls on Overwatch and stuff like that. They cleaned up and consolidated and streamlined a lot of the rules, surge moves, all that. Really good things. I still think they've got some misses. So I'm curious what the new codex start to shape up. I think the edition is still wildly way too lethal. way too lethal. And I think they could have, fixed, fishing and some rerolls and some of the other annoying things that exist out there. But like the lethality is baked into these data sheets inside the codexes, and so like they're gonna have a lot more difficulty trying to root that out if that is their aim. But overall, I'm very pleased with the addition. I think the idea of dispositions is great, and honestly, they've implemented substantially better than I expected. The maps are great. The fact that they've standardized now across the world, whether it's UKTC or WTC, like we're all using the same map, that's awesome. So like really, like I'm very excited about the edition. It's off to a good start.
No, I completely agree. And on the subject of the dispositions, I think the asymmetric war style really does help different armies, because like an army, as we'll talk about, Custodes is vastly different than even other elite brick type armies, like some Space Marine builds or like knights even. So it's really cool that you can kind of build and fit, and GW has this lever of control of, here's a really strong detachment that you could be hyper mobile or hyper aggressive with, but we're going to give you take and hold, so you have to balance the clear strength of the detachment with actually scoring your points.
Right, and it's unlocked a lot of different builds that just didn't exist at the end of 10th, right? Even just within just my army Custodes, right? Like we can build a pretty gnarly purge list, but there are viable take and hold lists using other detachments. There's viable recon stodes as well. Like, and they'll play very differently. And it really has kind of opened up some different list building. We'll see what the collective hive mind and the collective wisdom does about what is best. And we might see a little less variety as the edition kind of matures and a meta establishes a little bit. But really, there are some levers they can pull with these dispositions and missions, right? Like, if you have one that's just wildly underperforming, throwing an extra point to their end of turn primary, and all of a sudden you've got some levers to pull and some balancing there. And so beyond even this first year with this first deck, I'm really curious to see what they'll learn from millions of games and what they actually be able to pull up and follow the theme for the edition. So really, it's allowed us to do a lot with list building. It's through some new life into some other armies, and we're seeing some stuff that you just didn't see before.
I 100% agree. I've described it as list building feels very alive right now. Like, you don't feel like you're, with very few exceptions on some detachments that still definitely help. You don't feel like you're wasting your time. Like, oh, this unit, you were in a 10th, you were like, yeah, I could take this, but that's just better. Now
we're going to talk about units that saw no play that are suddenly alive and kicking in the new edition. Yeah. I ran into some of them in this, and I'll talk about them because I thought they were great in some cases.
And it's very good for the health of the game overall, because at the end of the day, this is a game that we all love. We take the time to buy the models, build them, paint them, and then go out and spend a day, 2 or 3 playing with people and talking about the army we love and having fun. So it's good that it feels good to build and play it. And the only other thing before we get into the main topic here is on the subject of lethality. I am hopeful because in the previews just a couple days ago, or the end of last week, we saw the Orc Codex, some of the data sheets, they're kind of delineating lethal hits to either vehicle or monster, or non-vehicle, non-monster, which I think is going to help a ton. Absolutely.
That's a distinction that's great for most of the game. Not for Custodes. but that's okay. Yeah. No, right? Like, no. Why is a anti-infantry poison weapon with lethal hits throwing wounds on knights left, right, and center, right? Because you stacked rerolls, and crit fished with it, right? Like, that doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel right. I would love to see them be able to pull that away, upscale the actual heavy armor, increase their points because there's less threat, dedicated AT only, and take away some of those methods that really devalued things like knights, that brought their price point down, and really give each weapon and unit its niche back. So like the mixed armor building is a little better because, like the standard stack every possible special weapon with high AP, high damage you can into a unit still lives, and there should be a reason not to do those things. There should be builds and viable ways to play around that. So I'm hoping like there's some interesting stuff. I really like some of the other stuff they had in the Orc previews, right? Like Flamers, get rid of the D6 roll, 3 Torrent Blast. Oh, perfect, right? Like that is a great Flamer profile. So I'm really excited to see some stuff like that.
Yep, and I think we saw there's like something like 13 or 14 detachments orcs are getting. Some of them are the ones that like I think they already have like 7 or 8, counting the 3 1DPs, or maybe 9. But like, so that's a hefty.
I'm really hoping we see basically all 2+1s, right? Like give every army at least 4 to 6 2s, 4 to 6 1s. Let us mix and match and play that disposition game. Trim them down, cut down some of the overpowered detachments we've seen all through 10th, right? Trim some of them a bit, and really give us that flexibility. And a lot of those bad detachments that didn't really take hold could be downscaled to really effective one-pointers, right? So like that's what I'm really hoping. So I'm really excited to see what these first 2 books are gonna have for us.
Yep. Well, and that's great. And that's the kind of optimism we really love here at Onslaught. It's because a lot of people get like, oh, doom and gloom, my army went up in points, or this rule changed, or this isn't effective right now. And it's like, yeah, maybe, but there's a so much bigger picture. And again, you have a new book coming at least the next 3 years minimum. So we'll see what happens. But kind of getting into it, we'll everyone, just for full disclosure, Lee brought a wonderful slideshow for us all to kind of break down both his list and his run. I cannot take any credit for this.
Make it easier than you. Instead of you guys having to play theater of the mind and just imagine all of this stuff, I can at least show you my list and then show you at least how I deployed in some of the matchups, right?
Yeah. Sorry, just to kind of give everyone the context or the perspective. I don't know what word I'm looking for. I can't English right now. This was the Major Warfare Road to Nova event in Brooksville, Florida, on the literal opening Saturday and Sunday of 11th edition. So it was here local Central Florida, and and Lee was the, as hopefully you saw in the title, the winner. He ultimately came in first and had a wonderful run. I was there. I saw you going kind of just winning game after game, and I'm just like, hope I don't play because that list looks scary.
I didn't want to deal with your infinite reactive move lictors because I don't have great answers for those kind of shenanigans.
I'm like, well, I could kill your characters and then nothing else. I would get tabled. So that was.
I don't know, my characters die hard.
Look, I have full unit of precision, so hopefully. But
it would have been a fun game. I would have enjoyed a game with you. Here you go. It would have been good.
Oh, absolutely. No, it would have been fun. I also would have been terrified. But kind of getting into, if you wouldn't mind walking us through your list from the detachments to the disposition to the units, and kind of, or whatever order you'd like, and just kind of let the people know you're working with.
Perfect. So where I started with for my 11th list was I started with a few basic assumptions. I thought Purge was probably the strongest, or not necessarily the strongest, but the defining disposition of early 10th, right? And I thought I saw it break down into two things, right? You have counter Purge, and you have, which is basically, can your Purge list beat another Purge list? Which means you want killy bricks, you want low unit counts, and you want the ability to take someone's home. If you've got low unit counts, killy bricks, and can steal your opponent's home, you win the Purge matchup. Now, it means you probably also win the disruption matchup because they have to get kill points into you. If you don't give them kill points, they're at a primary disadvantage and can't even max out, right? So that style list is really good into that like Purge disruption matchup. But then you also, if you're running Purge, you have to answer how do you score hold more and hold many into the other three dispos, right? And so I took my 10th list, the list I was playing literally the last game that I'd been playing back at Crucible, which was a 12 bike list with 2 Alaris bricks, which you'll recognize. And all I did was I basically dropped my assassin, I dropped my sisters, and I shuffled the Alaris a little bit, pulled in the new Dakamon and the Navigator. So the list is really one big Alaris shield captain with the Admon axe, right? So that the thing that just kills anything it touches. And I went with a giant brick of Alaris. So he's got 5 Alaris with him. This is my standard rapid ingress threat, right? This thing comes down, it shoots one thing dead, goes and kills 1 or 2 other things on whatever it can charge. It's a beast. I brought 3 bike shield captains with full bike bricks, running all salvo launchers. So I've got a decent anti-tank gun, especially with Lion. I'm Lions of the Empire, right? I'm Lion, so if I stay 6 inches away from my squads, I've got +1 to hit, cancels cover for the most part, and +1 to wound. And a good suite of stratagems, right? So like these bikes have a decent anti-tank threat. They're going to keep my opponents honest. They're ultra fast. Bikes gain frame, so now I can literally just rotate and gain extra distance off of my spear tips. It's a little, it doesn't feel great to play it that way, but they have frame, and that is how they now play, just like other hold vehicles, which is weird because they're mounted.
Yeah, to kind of get into that real quick, because that is a bit of tech that people might not quite understand. Frame says you measure distance from any point of the model, not the base. So even though the bikes have bases, the spears that stick forward like 1.5 to 2 inches past your base.
Yeah. So the way the math works is center to the edge of the model and base is about 1 inch, but it's about 3 inches from center to the front of a spear tip. So if I deploy sideways, my free pivot, I've now effectively gone from a 12-inch move to a 14-inch move when you're talking about my threat. And so bikes were good in 10th. They're also tough to play. They're a very high skill, very difficult unit to play. A lot of people struggle with them, but they were good. Because people really struggled with them for so long, not only did they gain frame going into 11th, but they also lost 5 points on the 3-man squad, and the shield captains went down. It went 5 points on the 2-man, 10 points on the 3-man, and then the shield captains went down. So my bike bricks, which were the core of my list at the end of 10, I took 2 bricks and won the Onslaught with it. A couple weeks later, I took 3 bricks and top 10 at Crucible. Like, they were good units, and I got 60 points off going into 11 on just the core of my list. And I got a new fun disposition, and I got to throw in a one DP, which I brought in Moritai, which is just the dread detachment. It affects 1 model in my list. I'll get there in a second. So yeah, so I got those big bright bricks, and the gnarliest thing they've got is those bike captains. At the end of the fight phase, if I fought, I get to make a normal or fallback move. And the bike squads themselves, once per game, can fly over something and also drop mortals. So I can pivot with my frame, jump out with a 14-inch reach, charge you, kill you, and fly over your buddy and drop mortals on them, and then get out of your counter attack range. You throw chaff out onto objective, I literally move up, charge it, kill it, fall back to where I was, or advance, or as I did in one of the games, I don't know, put my unit on your home objective, bottom of 1. Right? Like, they're wildly fast. Yeah.
That's dirty. That's funny.
It is. And so, unlike a lot of lists that have a nice, predictable game plan, you follow it, a list like this does not. There's a high cognitive load playing it, but there's just infinite possibilities, because it's very, very hard for you to predict where my list is going to be. And if you're playing something even remotely static, I get to dictate the pace of play, and I get to dictate where my models are, where you are. And as soon as I eliminate those couple of big threats you've got to me, you're going to find it very difficult to chew through bike bricks, and I'm going to be where I want to be and move around you. I've got 3 Alaris. Why? I can also split Alaris. So this is where I go from. I've got a 7-unit gnarly anti-purge list, right? But I've got a big Alaris brick, and I've got a 3-man Alaris brick. I got the strat Unleash the Lions. I can turn that 3-man Alaris into 3 1-man units. Now I've gone from 7 to 9 units. If I do it to the other spot, I go to 14 units. I can now play hold many and hold more pretty well. And those Alaris have uppy downy, so what I can do is I can split that, throw one onto my expansion, towed behind a wall with go to ground and hidden, pick the other 2 off the table and drop them wherever I need. So not only did I feel like I had a good answer for the counter purge matchup, I built a list that I could play into the other 3 dispositions. I didn't feel I was particularly disadvantaged into any disposition matchup. I've got the new Dakamon, Teleman with 2 storm cannons. Why? Because I've got an enhancement to give him reroll 1s, and his 24 shots, I get a strat that puts him at 36 in rapid fire range. The thing dumps mortals onto stuff. It completely. It can erase a unit of boys. Like it can throw 9 or 10 wounds on a knight. Like, the thing is just wild in its output. And so I finally got to bring my Telemon and put him on the table. I also brought a Navigator for a no deep strike bubble just to hold home. I know I don't score home, but my opponents get to score home in a lot of those matchups, and I just wanted a way to say no to that. So that's my list. That's my strategy. My list is wildly fast, incredibly mobile. I can play the counter purge disruption matchup, and I can play the take and hold, the priority, and the recon matchup pretty well, I think, going into it. it's early 11th. I played 2 practice games right before the tournament. Hadn't played in 9 months and went in and said, I'm like, I know what my units can do. Let's see if I can play 11th with it.
And just to touch on the 4 captains you have there, they all have once per game abilities.
Yeah. Yep.
But in Lions, it doesn't have to be once per game.
I can make it twice per game. Yeah. And ironically, I don't know if I actually ever reloaded and used the second use of the bounce move. I'm pretty sure I reloaded it. I don't think I ever actually used it twice in any of my matchups.
But like I was pointing out, so to talk about your infinite possibilities, that like just because you see a unit do it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be done. You could just project the threat of, hey, I'll spend the CP in case I need to do it again.
Right. Yeah. And so just to iterate what those bikes can actually do to people. I pivot, I move, I've gone 14. I charge you, say 7 inches. I then pile in 3 inches. I kill you, I consolidate 3 more inches, and then I move 12 more inches at the end of my turn. That is from just the actual real base movement. It's 12 plus 7 plus 3 is 22, plus 3 is 25, plus 12 is 37, plus whatever 2-inch swing I did in there for a pivot along the way. You measure 37 inches from my deployment zone, and I can put stuff behind. The possibilities of where those units can end up is truly staggering, and it's wickedly fast on the table.
To just like let people know how fast that is, on every single deployment zone that isn't tipping point or hammer and anvil, that can touch your backboard edge. On Crucible of Battle, on Search and Destroy, and on both of the Dawn of War deployments, that unit, or all 3 units potentially, are touching the back of your board. You're not safe. So that's just as a quick visual of how fast that is.
Right, and the other thing those bikes can do, say you throw out a unit in a transport. I move out, maybe I shoot the transport a little, maybe I don't even bother, maybe I shoot something else. I charge your transport, kill the transport, you get out, I bounce over you and drop 6 to 8 mortals on your unit that just got out of the transport. Throw on a couple mortals for getting out of it, and if you had one wound infantry in that transport, you may not have any left. So like there's just a very powerful, but the problem is they're expensive. They're 75 points a bike. Those captains are still 140 points a piece. I mean, those bricks are over 350 points. Like they're tough, but they're not that tough. If you get them out of position, they will fold, and people can wrap them up with a lot of the decent shooting and decent melee.
They're the basic bikes are T7, 5 wounds, 2 up, 4 up.
2 up, 4 up. Yep. Yeah, the bikes are good with that 5th wound because the D2s and the D2s and the D3s are okay into them. The Alaris are T7, 2 up, 4 up with the 4 wounds, so they're very happy getting shot by D3. They hate D2, hate D4, but that's kind of the matchup.
All right. Well, getting into it, your first match was unless there's something else you want to talk about.
Yeah, no, that was good. Yeah, let's jump into that first match. Yeah, so my first match was Doug with his Chaos Knights, and he was running Bastions of Tyranny and then Traitor's Lance, so he had the gnarly battle shock penalties, and you're battle shocking all over the place. Battle shots at neg 2 that just don't go away are kind of scary in this edition. Doug went Disruption. He had Purge as an option. He should not have picked Disruption. He should have played Purge with his list. I
can actually speak to He's my roommate. Fun fact. And actually, I helped him build this list, and we agreed that Purge was just the superior choice. But this was more, like we said, opening weekend, and he kind of wanted the knowledge of Disruption, because Purge, especially for something like Knights, is kind of self-explanatory. Mm-hmm. If you're killing me more than I'm killing you, I lose anyway. Mm-hmm. That's just kind of the Knight game plan as like a faction, because you only have 5 to 7 models unless you're running War Dog spam. So this was just him kind of gaining information from the event. So that he wasn't doing it as like this is better. He was knowingly, taken the worst choice, but just to see what it played like.
Yeah, and and it was a fun game, but Purge would have been just a much easier play style for the list. You can see how we ended up deploying. He got himself a little jammied up in the back, and he was kind of leaning to one side there. I ended up going first, which was fine. So I was able to put bikes up to that staging point on the upper right and keep them completely out of sight. Telemon was able to run to the right, and I staged bikes right behind center on him. He had a War Dog there. I had one squad that could draw a line to his stalker that couldn't get shot back. So I almost dropped his stalker that he had sitting there right behind his center, turn one on and shooting, and he didn't get to shoot me turn one. He's got a shooting Knights list, so we're down in one round if he doesn't get to shoot me. He ended up bringing that Tyrant out forward, and that felt very much like a mistake to me, because I was able to get two bike squads I was able to get bike squads that could shoot it and get reasonably short charges into it. So his anti-deep strike threat for turn 2, I ended up just picking up his Tyrant. On the far right, I picked up one of his dogs and fell back. The Telemon ran to the right as bait, and then so he's now down a big. He's down one stalker. He's got a stalker at like 3 wounds, and I have 2 bikes that bounce at the end of his phase, and where you see that Tyrant in the back left there, I had 2 units of bikes sitting there top of turn 2. And so he already had moved some knights over, so then he's now wanting to go shoot bikes on the right and send lancers into the bikes on the left. The lancer basically bounced for him and disappeared on my turn 3. I dropped my big brick. I ended up dropping my big brick Valaris on him. He ended up shooting the double gat despoiler into the Telemon, which is about the worst target in my army for him, because it's damage -1. He picks up a couple of bikes, but he's now down a lancer, he's down a Tyrant, he's down stalkers, and at that point I was like, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to feed you models on the center, and you're going to hold your one remaining knight to score points. And that's where we're at, right? So basically, we played 3 turns, and we're able to score it out because there was no more action. I wasn't even going to fight models at that point. I was just moving stuff and scoring points. So we just moved out, scored it out, and that's where we were. So we finished that game in under an hour and a half. And Doug, great guy. It was a super fun game. Great opponent, great support. So I felt pretty good off and running. List did exactly what I wanted it to do, so I felt pretty good there. That's how the first one went.
Yeah, no, and I honestly, I told him, looking at your list and the score, I'm like, he and despite what you said, he scored primary up till turn 5, which he
was gonna score. He was gonna score primary, but he couldn't get enough kills on me. He wasn't gonna be able to get enough kills on me, and so he was really gonna hold one. So he was gonna score. Because I was going to let that Gat despoiler sit there with no targets and score points for the rest of the game. I'm more, and maybe I'll throw something out on center so I score my secondaries or score my extra primaries and let him kill it, which is what I did, right?
And just out of curiosity, is the spoiler all he had left because you left it alone, or did he have other anything else alive?
No, he just had the despoiler.
Okay, so and again, this is just to kind of give people the full picture. If it was pertinent, he could have been tabled had that been an objective you needed to for any.
Right? Yeah, I could. If I had really wanted to, I could have gone and taken the despoiler, but I had no. I mean, maybe I bounce, maybe I don't. Maybe he scores more points. It's either way. I score. I don't think I score any more points by going and killing it. And that was the mental math I did. And there was a real possibility I scored less points by going after it, and so
right, I was just giving people the kind of the full view of just because you can do something, and great that you explained it like that. you don't have to, and sometimes trying can actually set you back rather for, you know, minimal to no gain for trying.
Yeah, like I knew I was maxing primary, so it was really was I going to max secondary? And because I completely scored no secondary turn one, I was already maxing out my score, so I just didn't think that I scored any more by going after it, so I just didn't. Because I had no need to. I was running primary up and was scoring all the secondary I needed, and that was that.
Yep, no, that's wonderful. Thank you. Like I said, I just wanted to give people the kind of that you know, for lack of a better term, that higher level like perspective of playing the game, because I do see people, and myself included, sometimes kind of overextend or go for the greed play, for lack of a better term, when just doing what you have to do is already going to get you there.
Yeah, and in this matchup, as soon as I got a little bit of kill on him, and as soon as I had gotten like that initial big primaries, all I have to do is play defensively, and it's probably an insurmountable. Like as soon as that Tyrant and Landsberg, I didn't have to do anything else to keep a score, right? It was just a matter of board position, and he just had too few units to score the points he needed at that point. So once you get to that point, it kind of snowballs, and that's just all we have. But yeah, so that was my round one.
All right, so off and running.
Yeah, round two, I run into the counter purge list.
Something you know, you said you specifically kind of thought of in building your list. So
yeah, this one is all 6. So both round one and round two, fewer than my 7 units.
Well, fun fact: when you said you could break up the your 5-man and captain to have 14 units total, not counting spore mines, 14 units is how many my Tyranids list has.
Yeah, and
it's Vanguard.
How many of the units in your army want solo Alaris Terminators running around?
Like
none.
5 stretching, like maybe
right.
Maybe.
Like a lone Alaris is just actually a threat to most things. Like
yeah. No, so this is and I want you to, of course, go over like you did the first game, but if you could, also could you just touch on, because we've seen the picture. This is not, a deployment we've seen in a while. This is
we're playing old school. We're across the board edge from each other. This is the steep deployment.
And they took assassination and engage on all fronts with purge primary. That is
so, and he doesn't max secondary. So he's got 30 paladins. They hit like a truck on the charge. They are only strength 6. My army's mostly T7. It's not a great damage proposition. It isn't a great damage proposition for them. And we're playing counter purge. So really it's, you need to kill units. Neither of us has easy to kill units, right? That gives you your 8 points on that turn, basically. And then you need to hold 1, whatever, easy to do. But
yeah, your expansion and call it a day.
The extra 5 is, can you hold your opponent's home? So on the table, my list is way faster than him. He's got his uppy downy, and he's got his some of his Grey Knight shenanigans. Like, oh, you move, my reactive is just going into the sky. Oof, right?
And just real quick, just so people can, again, as you're going through it, visualize. There are 2 center objectives, and then your home is the far upper left, and his home.
My home is the furthest left corner, and his home is that close one in the bottom right. We both have navigators sitting on our home. Right.
Just to give people, as you're going through the game, a visualization of what the board state might have looked like.
And from my perspective, I look at this as I go, if he gets to just land and charge me with all 3, he might deal enough damage for me to lose. If this game plays slow at all I need to do is take his home for like 1 or 2 rounds, and I just end up with an insurmountable lead that he can't catch up on. Because he won't score enough secondary to do it, and he can't, because I have a navigator. What it takes for his Grey Knights to actually go and root out my home is just too costly. So he needs to just wildly outkill me as his only path to victory. I think he knew that. I kind of knew that. We were not going to play a long game. He ended up going first. He shuffled a little bit, left me a little bit of bait out there. I moved some bikes out, killed a couple paladins, nothing like that. But what I did is I spread out, and I left a giant hole in between those centers, and I just kept a lot of my stuff grouped up a little bit, because I knew that he was going to come at me, and he was going to have 3 units with 3 charges. He's got an advance and charge threat, so I'm probably getting hit by the one on the ground unless he rolls a 1 on his advance or something. And he's going to come down. He's got an 8-inch charge for maybe the Voltus squad, and he's going to have a 9-inch charge on the other one. If he lands all 3 charges, it very well might be his game, right? Like, he's got a good chance of winning it. If he doesn't make all 3 charges, it's probably my game. So I set that up with my bottom of 1 moves. Top of 2, he lands his 1 Libby squad, I think, which is the one that was front and center on the ground, comes up. It makes it in. He ends up making the 9-inch charge, and he fails the rerollable 8. So he makes 2 of the 3 units, 2 of them into the same spot. I end up, I had also rapid ingress my giant Blive of Valaris right in between, so I have a pretty reasonable heroic intervention into either spot. I ended up heroicing with actually one of my bikes instead, and just left my Alaris in the middle so I could clean up whichever direction on the next turn. He ends up killing a bunch of bikes, and then because I pull bikes and end up killing him out of combat with the other squad. So even with his 3-inch overrun, he doesn't actually get into combat. So it's the second squad. So he kills fewer bikes than you'd expect. He does do the crazy precision strat and eats 2 of my bike captains, which was kind of wild on me. Usually don't expect to lose them, so I take some casualties there. He can't risk shooting me because I have a reactive move to being shot. His shooting doesn't hurt me, so he couldn't shoot any of those units if he loses charges.
Is that
so
reactive?
He fires 0 bullets this game.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you on a roll, and it's great, but is your reactive move flat 6 or D6? Just throw.
It's a D6.
Okay, but it could. So it's a gamble, but it's a gamble your opponent doesn't necessarily want to take, because he
can't shoot either of the units that he needs 8 or 9-inch charges into.
Yep.
That pretty much means they don't get their charge. Can't do it. And even if he's got the 5-inch charge or whatever he had on the Libby squad, do you want to risk that becoming a 10 or 11? A 9? Do you want, so I mean, there's a 50% chance that squad becomes a really bad idea for him as well. So he just had no way to shoot any of my units. It just wasn't a good call for him. So he fired 0 bullets the whole round. It was the whole game. It was we laughed at that. He fired no shots the whole game. So he comes, he hits me, he kills bikes. It's not nearly enough, right? So then with a fallback shoot and charge on 1, my giant Alaris brick got to shoot one of his units, and they killed a bunch of his paladins just on their shooting, because it was 12 shots at 4, 1, 2 rerolls to wound for his character units, +1 to wound from lines.
Oh no!
Just gobbles up paladins, and then they also have a D6 plus blast for each of them at 4, 1, 1 with the same buffs. They just chewed through. So they shot a bunch, charge, kill another unit. Bikes picked up 1 unit of the paladins, then bounced and flew over his Calexis and killed the Calexis with mortals.
That was disrespectful.
So at the end of turn 2, he has 6 models on the table. And that was it.
Damn, no, that
we played for well under an hour.
Couple of things. One, I hate the Calexis, or not, sorry, it's a Calexis assassin. Sorry. Calexis is fine. The Custodes is the one I hate, but that is still the funniest assassin death I think I've ever heard. Is just the bike zoom.
I just ran it over with a bike. 4 bikes, 2 mortals for each 2+. 6 mortals as an assassin. That's
And again, for this actual Dawn of War, or was it the
steeped one? Yeah, it was the whichever one that one's called.
So no man's land here from their most raised corner to your most raised corner is about 14 inches. And how fast did you say you effectively move those bikes by spinning the spears around?
When I turn them, when I'm turning, they have a 14 plus 2d6 charge threat, right?
Yeah.
So I reasonably can charge things 21 inches away if I want to. So you gotta move back and like
you have to deploy on the back of your board edge and then hope he doesn't roll like an 11. Pretty much.
Right. And he went first. He chose not to try to do the long bomb advance out on me and try to get in turn one with one unit, because that would have probably not worked for him. I had set myself up in a pretty nasty heroic intervention just so I would get my... He'd kill some bikes. I would eat a whole squad of paladins on my turn, and it would have been a good change. So he didn't do that. I didn't do any turn one charges, but we accelerated the entire game into basically what happened turn two. And it was just pure carnage, and so that was just the game.
And again, to touch on something we talked about, before we got into this, is the lethality of the game. Like 30 paladins is no joke to kill. Like
no.
So like don't hear that. Yeah, he went through 30 paladins in basically a turn and a half, and like, oh, that is a extremely impressive.
My thing is this is all the lethality my same army had in 10s. It just, with just the way this worked out, missing one of the charges, just the way he ended up piling, and how I like made one front unit of bikes shield and was able to heroic off to one side. He didn't have the ability to. He killed himself out of his second charge. So I should have lost a couple more bikes for sure, and I would have still had enough to hurt him. But because he bounced a bit because of that turn, it just was he took the entire brunt of my entire army, which was at 90% strength, and there's very few armies that can take that on the chin and not lose most of their material on the table.
Yeah. So I wonder if you're off to two very definitive victories, taking absolutely no prisoners on your.
I am 2 games in. I have played 5 rounds of 40K in under 2.5 hours.
That is extremely impressive. Day one for this was a 2-day GT. Day one was 3, so this was the first match after lunch.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to take a quick minute to hear from our sponsors. When we get back, we will see how you ended, day one, and of course go over day 2. So stick with us, and we'll be back after a word from our sponsor.
Now with a word from our sponsor, Baron of Dice. Baron of Dice is your one-stop shop for premium wargaming dice. Our dice are made with premium resin materials and colored dyes. Each die is hand-mixed to the desired result and then carefully swirled with 2, 3, or 4 colors in a silicone mold before being laser engraved with a wicked symbol and finished in a matte or gloss polish. There are no imperfections in our dice, no balancing issues, no micro bubbles or mold lines. This is the difference between. You can, quite literally, feel and hear a difference with our dice. Whatever game you play, whatever style your team or faction rocks, we're sure to have something to elevate your game. With over 500 styles and over 4,000 customer reviews, welcome to the best dice on the planet. Now back to our show.
All right, everyone, welcome back. Be sure to check them out. Link will be in the description. But on to round 3, and this... into Necrons, a boogeyman for like the later half of 10th edition. So we'll see how they do at the start of 11th.
Right. Yeah. Round 3, and I draw a Necron. But more importantly, there was only 7 undefeated people after 2 rounds, so only 26-person GT. And I was a little upset about this. I drew the pair down. I know Tommy, great guy, but Tommy's 1-1. He didn't deserve to draw me round 3. So he got the short end of the stick there. But young guy, he hasn't been playing that long. He's come a long way tremendously. And he's running Silver Tide. I love Tommy, great kid, ton of fun games. I played him a couple of times. So
I played him the round after this. I played him in round 4.
Yeah, Tommy's great. I like him, right? And he's running Silver Tide now. He's running. he's got heavy investment on keeping that Silvertide alive. It's not as good as it was in 10th, where it could be an amoeba and just grab, and it didn't shoot anything. It just held stuff, right? Like, and it was impossible to kill. It's a little easier to kill. It's easier to kill in 11s, mainly because stealth doesn't now stack with benefit of cover. They're not getting the 3-up armor saves across with the cover saves. They're not negating all the. They still negate AP1, but they can't get the warriors to a 3-up armor save anymore. The casket is a little less useful. And he's still got a ton of reanimation in this list. I really think Silvertide still has legs. It just it needs to be different, right? Those warriors shoot hard, so I think you need two, either one big, one small, multiple warrior bricks that are shooting, less all in on the keeping the one blob alive. But he's got a big old warrior brick, he's got the Nightbringer, he's got a big old wraith brick, he's got all the trappings for keeping all that stuff alive. He's got one of my least favorite characters ever, Xeris, rolling around, just mainly because of his buffs.
He's got, to really hit home, he is playing Awakened, which already has enhanced ways to reanimate. He has a Ghost Arc, which specializes in reanimating warriors better and more often, and 2 reanimators, and the command bar that had a orb, as well as the Lord in the warrior unit that had a resurrection orb. So like lot of reanimation.
11th rules, like, these things get back up now, right? Like, even if you precision the character out, they can just reanimate the character. Like, if they're down to just the character, he can still reanimate the unit, right? So there is
people at home, remember that comment for after Lee's done. Just remember that how characters can be reanimated, because I got something in our game I want to touch on. But please
so
continue.
It's gnarly. You have to kill them. A lot of them you have to kill them twice, overload them. It's painful. Luckily, I have a precision strat, and my units are killing enough. I've got my Alaris brick and the Dakamon. I have ways to generally shoot. I can generally almost, not quite single phase it, but come close enough. And because he can't use 2 res orbs in the same turn anymore, I have the ability. My army can now wear the block brick down, where some of my other Custodes lists with other detachments, this is just a hard counter, and I don't have enough attacks in any unit. 7/2/2 melee is not what you need to kill infinite warriors, unfortunately. But yeah, so, and it's we're playing corners. For you can imagine this, I have multiple bike bricks that if you touch the center objective, I can charge you reasonably. You don't get to touch center without my bikes charging you from deployment. And you don't get to shoot me, I'm completely hidden. That's hard to deal with. Anyway, I ended up going first. I ended up poking out. I don't think I kill most of his stalker over there. And really, I end up just kind of positioning him around. I take my pop shot. He moves out, can't really hurt me with much of anything on his turn. He doesn't have much shooting in this list. He doesn't have any DDAs. His best range shooting is Nightbringers, las cannon basically, or if you get close to those warriors, he can shoot some stuff, right? I think I stuck my Telemon on the edge of the center objective, so I stuck 4 OC out there. I had bikes going to my expansion. I had bikes pressuring his expansion, and I was pretty much just getting ready for what needed to happen. My turn 2, I dropped my Alaris brick, and they basically shoot through all of the warriors into his leaders. He then resorbs them and strats them and brings a bunch back, which I then charge and basically just kill through with my a bike squad, and then I end up just mortaling over the character. He stands back up, so he can't res it for the next turn. It was painful. The Wraith Bricks, great unit. Tar Pit, they suck. I've got all the tools and all the killing I need, and his Wraiths just aren't good into bikes at all. So even if he charges a unit of bikes, he doesn't even kill one usually. And then I kill some of him back. I then bounce out for free, fly over him, drop mortals, shoot him with high damage weapons, and then charge him and kill the rest anyway, right? So like Wraiths, this is not a great matchup. if I get through like the warrior brick and stop him from OCing on stuff, I'm gonna pick through most of his army. There's lots of stuff I can't kill, but he just can't kill me fast enough. The only thing that really does is the Nightbringer when he gets there. And I swear I could have killed that Nightbringer twice over in the game, and he rezzed it so much that I think he ended the game at full health. And I just ended up eventually ignoring it as it ran around and chased me. But I was able to split Alaris, plunk around the board. I ended up giving my home at one point. Like, we just bounced around the board, and at one point he just didn't have the models or the units to keep scoring, and I spread and just ran up the score as we ran the last turn or two out. But fun game. Tommy's a great kid. I love him. He's a ton of fun to play with. Great sport. He won best sports. He deserved it. I love Tommy. It was a super fun game. He did good. Like, this kid has come a long ways. I'm just sad that he got paired up. That was a tough draw for him. But yeah, I know you said you played him the round after that.
Yes, and we had a very close. Our game ended 88-89. I won by 1 point. Now, in our game, I was playing Reconnaissance, Vanguard Nids, and I took Fixed, Assassinate, and Engage in all fronts, because the Recon into Take and Hold primary for the Recon player is just Engage in all fronts for 3 or 6 points every turn, and then hold 1 for turns 2 through 5.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and he's not super killy. So, like, if you can scatter, you have stuff that can stay long enough to actually keep scoring you your 6 points, right?
Yeah, no, he actually played great. I scored max on Engage in my primary, but he actually held me down on Assassinate because he did not reanimate a single character. He sat there and he's like, do I just not? He's like, this feels so wrong, but like,
yes.
He's like, I need my characters for rules and buffs. I'm like, correct. And he's like, but you're just going to kill them again and get more points. And I'm like, also correct. So that is a hard call to make. And I think he made the right one, because even though he lost, he would have lost by more had he tried to just do the.
None of those characters die easy.
Oh yeah.
I don't think you earned the points for killing Nightbringer in that game.
No, the Nightbringer, I gave it a tentative try because he shoved him down my throat, but I'm like, nah, I'm going to leave him alone, whatever. And I killed.
And if Tommy watches this, he misdeployed the Nightbringer. He should have deployed it right in the middle of that warrior brick behind that L, and be able to push to the center and had more options with it. He put it off to the side, and that allowed me to kite it for 1 extra turn. He could have rammed the Nightbringer down on me, because then forced me to engage it instead of hammering his warriors and his wraiths as hard as I did. Had he done that, it would have been a closer game for sure.
Yeah, no, but and again, Matt, I also told him that he was a great sport. As things kind of we had a very back and forth game. Swings from both of our sides. So he absolutely deserves best sport. He's a great player, great attitude. So and for those of you wondering about like the pair down, this was one opening weekend for the edition. BCP had some bugs. There was on round 2, there was actually a repairing because BCP mispaired some stuff. So
there was only 7 undefeated. One of us was pairing down, and
yes.
By the tiebreakers, it just happened to be me, which I wasn't expecting. I was like, oh.
But no, Necron still. If you don't know what you're doing, if you're not prepared for what they still can do,
Necron Take and Hold is very, very viable.
Yeah, I think I told him if he trades out the Technomancer and Raze for another 20-year ban warrior break with a Lord and a Chronomancer for just the flat -1 to hit. I think
he can drop a Reanimator and even the Command Barge and get the whole warrior brick and then something else. And like, he's got options to lower the survivability a little bit of the list. It doesn't need as much of it, and bring more of that wicked lethal AP2 shooting with Xeris that was just gnarly in rapid fire range. And then with Assault and the auto 6-inch advance on the one squad, like, he can put a lot of shots from that squad into something, and like it hurts.
Yep, especially with the strat to give the other squad Assault in Awakened Dynasty. But no, that Command Barge was the actual for what I tried to kill, the hardest thing, because that enhancement, for those who don't know, the dermal gives it it has a 4-up invuln. Yep, and then it also reanimates. So, but no, yeah, that's wonderful. And as you know, again, this is search and destroy deployment on 12 to 14-inch move bikes, and Necrons are still a slow army. They're not fast. So like you said, you're able to kite around the Nightbringer before it could really get the grip.
Well, and that's what happened, right? Like after turn 3, I had board position and he couldn't catch me. And so at that point, he has no way to catch and kill me and score points. He has to choose trying to do one of those two things, and neither is enough at that point. So like as soon as we have that clash and I've taken all the pieces I needed to, the rest is just a very, very tough game for him to play.
Yeah.
So that was round 3.
All right. Well, before we get on to this, end of day 1, you're 3-0. How you feeling about your list? You're 5 games deep into the new edition.
I think I've scored 97, 100 or something like that at that point. Like the list is doing everything I expect it to do, everything I kind of thought it could do. So I was feeling really good. I love bikes. In the Custodes world, I'm probably the foremost bike user in the world. I mod like the largest competitive Custodes Discord as well. So like, these are my bread and butter, and they're doing everything I said they would going into 11th when I was convincing people this was my play. So I was thrilled so far. And there's only 4 undefeateds at this point, and there's Brad's Blood Angels, which terrifies me as a list. There's John's Orcs, which I actually feel like I play a real good game into. Basically, if the Dakamon or my big Alaris brick shoots his Gaz brick, I can basically wipe into Gaz. At that point, I don't have a lot to fear from his list. So as long as I get to shoot him first and don't get misplayed on a charge or something, I feel pretty confident into that list. My army does well. And then there was Logan's sister's list, which was just a lot of high EP bullets, and I just didn't know what that was going to look like. I really liked that list. I was like, so there out of the 3, the scariest one is what I draw for round 4. I think this was the strongest list in the tournament. I think this list is better than mine, because I can't do what this list does, and I try to. So what Brad's list is he is running Stormlance, which gives everything advance and charge, which is good. He doesn't get much strat support from it because it's meant for mostly mounted in flyers and stuff. Or no, yeah, mostly mounted in vehicle. Yeah, it's mostly mounted is what the strats target. So he doesn't get a lot of strat support. But this second little 1-point detachment, the Grace detachment, it's Grace something, I can't remember the actual full name of it. This thing is wild. Any Blood Angels infantry character unit gets +1 to its advance and +1 to its charge. That's crazy. So that means all 3 of these Death Company units are effectively 14 inches of move, with built-in advanced and charge, with built-in reroll charge, with built-in reroll to hit when they get there. So if you think and they're flying right through terrain. Like if you think my list is fast, this list is inches faster. Like it is, and they hit hard, right? And so beyond that, he's got 2 of these Assault Intercessor bricks, which are amazing. Why? Assault Intercessors are reroll to wound on objectives. Guess what? Objectives are now massive and benefit of cover. They're not circles out in the open. Assault Intercessors got so good. Not only that, they've got 4-up invulns, and then the priests are giving a 5-up feel no pain. So this is a wildly durable brick, and they have extra AP with all those reroll to wounds. So when you take this thing, you're taking a bucket of dice with reroll to wound and AP2. plus whatever the hidden power fist and the Libyan priest output, right? Like these things are terrifying. To support that, he's got some JPIs, a ball pred, a speeder, and 2 units of suppressors. When's the last time you saw suppressors on the table? They are now a 75-point fast scoring unit whose AP1 autocannon gun is actually good. And tacking -1 to hit onto a unit for an entire turn, when that now stacks with benefit of cover, is so good. Like this list is great. This list terrifies me. Going into this, I know my bikes are durable. None of his bricks wipes a whole unit on the charge. I don't really wipe him on the charge either. But he is faster than me. So if he gets to dictate the game, I'm gonna lose, right? So this is one where in the first game I was the hammer against the Chaos Knights. In the center game I had to anvil up to take the charge from the Grey Knights. In the third game I was the hammer flying into the Necrons, right? And again, game 4 we alternate. I have to play the anvil. I measured all of his deployment lines out, and he basically needed a 4-inch advance, like a 10-inch charge to touch any unit. And I stacked up, making sure I could heroically intervene if he did try to alpha strike me. He didn't. Luckily, he did have to go first. That helped me. He shuffles around, throws up some units on each objective, and I go in with what my kind of plan is anviling and doing the same thing with a bunch of CP where I've got fight on death, I can heroically intervene, or I can interrupt, right? And I'm just going to do some combination of that to hit him back harder than he hit me, and hopefully end up in a better board position. He throws some suppressors on that far north expansion objective. I go out, miss the charge into them. Love that for me. It was like a 5-inch charge. I think I missed it. Love it. So I didn't get to go pick up his free unit and then fall back. But my unit is way up almost against the board edge, just kissing that objective. He has no shooting that threatens me. He has to go root me out, and he has to commit more. He probably has to commit more than just the one unit of Death Company. He throws, I think, the Assault Intercessors up there as well. I end up surviving with a wounded bike captain and harass him for like one more turn up there. He comes at me, and I've kind of set up where the Telemon takes some of the charge, some bikes heroic in a little bit for a little more, and I also then rapidly ingress right behind the center objective, my big Alara brick, because he's got the Lamarte squad right on the other side. He's trying to bring his units back over to me because I'm so lopsided on the board. I throw away a unit of Alaris that I end up deep striking in. I feed them to some Assault Intercessors. We have a big old kerfluffle right by my expansion objective. When the dust clears, I've ate the one unit of Death Company. I've killed most of that Assault Intercessor squad. My Alaris brick went up and ate his one other Death Company squad. Ate the Lamarte squad with some help with some bikes. I almost lose to Dakamon because he can't make 3-up, or he couldn't make his 3-up saves to the Death Company. I failed 8 of 12 3-up armor saves. So I almost lose him. He holds on. He then proceeds to make like the rest of his saves for the game, and eventually stomps the last Sang Priest that they're both standing on that objective. Stomps the Sang Priest to death with 1 wound. Just absolutely craziness. At that point, he's down to a few units, and he's pulling them, and at that point, I'm able to just outscore him. And I think it takes me till turn 4. I think I do table him. I think I kill Valprad and his last suppressors, and I think I table him 4 into 5 or something. We called it at that point because it was just scoring points. But yeah, this game was much closer than the score looked. It could have swung either way. I had a game plan. I anviled up, hoarded my CP, spent it like mad on the one turn. I fought in death in one spot and helped cripple the one death company. I heroically intervened, which, by the way, when you heroically intervene, you get the charge bonus, which means you gain fight first, which is free interrupt. So much better. Heroically intervening is so much better than interrupting now.
And that paired with the heroic intervene, because I know an old way to beat Custodes, if you couldn't kill them, was just throw like 5 witches on an objective and say it's mine now and you can't kill me. And well, now with the 2 CP heroic interrupt or heroic intervene,
you can potentially just, if they put something within 6 inches of you, roll them die.
Yep.
And it sounds like I'm spending a lot of CP. I am. All 4 of my shield captains do have the strat reduction. I only get it once per battle round, but trust me, I'm using that to come in for free with my rapid ingress, which is what I saved it up for. And then I was still sitting on a bucket of CP that allowed me to do what I need to do with the fight on death and heroic intervention, right? So like that was my plan. It ended up working out. The game was closer than the score looked. Brad was a great opponent. We played a really good game. This was a tight game. Very, very good 40K.
Yep. And no, I played into Riel's Blood Angels, and she had the librarian and priest, and instead of she had one on assault intercessor, but she also had a blade guard veterans brick of that, and oh my god.
Yeah. I was helping Riel fine tune that list before. I liked this version. I liked the Stormlands version a little bit better. She went with the Bastion one, which is all about the battle line units, but she can make one of those. She can make that big Sang brick battle line and give it the same wild charge. She doesn't get the built-in reroll charge though, which is actually huge. But like it's hers is a little slower and a little heftier to kill version of this, but it's a very, very similar styled list.
I put a total of like 56 damage. It was like 28 or 28 2 damage saves on her unit of a 4-up 5-up. She took 4. It was the most disgusting rolling. So seeing the Libby plus priest combo is very, if you haven't tried it or played into it, you don't know how good that is, and like until you start rolling dice into it or they start rolling it against you. It's very good.
I think it was this game. A full bike brick went in. I'm just telling you what it was. The full bike brick went in, so it was 21 attacks because of sustain. I had 23 hits, 4 wounds on a 4+. That was in round 5 actually. That was the. I made 4 of 23.
Dude, it was a weird weekend against Tommy. We played. I had my Ravener swing 33 hits. Hitting on 2s, twin linked, wounding on 5s. No, it's not great, but still, I got like 32 hits, and at 32 hits, re-rolling all of them, I got no wounds. It was awesome. Yeah. I rolled 64 dice, and I got 0 5-ups. It was
that's painful, man.
You just gotta laugh,
that's why we roll dice, right? Like
mm-hmm.
you just set yourself up for things moderately not going well, but sometimes the dice just tell you, nah, that thing you wanted, that don't work.
Yep. But
yeah.
So far you're 4-0. You're killing it. You've gotten above 90 in every game. You got above 95 in every game, which is
this was my lowest. This was my lowest scoring. This was my lowest scoring game of 11th edition at 96 points. At this point, things are going well. Again, this game was much closer than the score. Like this game was much closer than the score makes it look. This was not an actual blowout. We just. Again, my list is fast, and I forced the inflection points in most of my games to turn 2. So a lot of my games, after turn 2, there might be dice to roll and models to move yet, but the game's over, right? Like I moved those inflection points up really hard, really fast. So they tend to be big score differentials, but sometimes they're much closer because they just pivot on one crucial turn or one crucial unit. And most people don't think we're playing a 2 or 3 turn game. They think we're playing 4 or 5 turns. And if you don't, if you half-ass it and don't whole-ass it, sometimes you're just gonna find yourself behind. But now we're into round 5. given that the other matchup was a whole lot of bullets versus a lot of orcs, I thought that I would be seeing the sisters list, and that is who I was seeing Logan. Her list is super cool. It has no meltas in it. It is all bullets. It is all heavy bolters. It's got a bunch of flamers. Normally, Custodes are like, in 10th edition, they're like, what? AP1 heavy bolters? Flamers? Psh, 2-up armor saves, don't care, right? Benefit of cover helps here, because now I'm saving on a 3-up against all those H-bolters. But I'm not actually saving on a 3-up. Why? Because she's got Army of Face and Chorus of Condemnation, which means she also has a strat for neg 1 AP. That hurts. What else does she got? Let's see, 3 Castigators. They're taking her Stormbolter and saying extra AP to that unit. So against all of these bullets, I am saving on 4-ups, which is a ton of fun. And she's got just an absolute wild amount of bullets. Even her Valgons are the bolter versions, which people, that sucks. When you stack some AP onto that with all those releases, that unit still dumpsters a night. Like it's incredibly shooty. So like this is a fun game where, again, like we're playing old school 40K. We're lined up across the table from each other, and we're gonna see if we can score some points. She goes.
Just a quick thing on Logan. She actually came on and did a faction focus for Sisters of Battle the week before this event happens, and so if you want her insights, because she talks a bit about this list over the course of that episode, you could get her, not of this match, but like of the thought that went into it. If you're a Sisters fan watching this, just wanted to shamelessly plug that real quick. But sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, and I think given how well she did, I think the list worked about and did what she was expecting it to do, right?
I played her round 2, and we had a close game, about as close as yours, but she had beat me by about 11 points, so it is no joke.
And her round 1 was Adam and his Drukhari. Adam's a phenomenal player, right? Like, she didn't have a easy path at all.
No.
At all. And so we're gonna play. Recon can score very well into Purge. It is very easy to get 45 points of primary. I certainly didn't stop it. I tried a little bit. Anyway, we're lining up. This one is, if I can get into her lines, I can multi-charge stuff. The only melee threat she's got, the Valgons. Everything is kind of a shooting threat into me. So we get started. She has to go first. That helps me in this matchup a little bit. So she's trying to triangulate turns 2, 3, 4. She just needs to own an objective and do an action on it, and she can lock in a huge amount of primary, throw and hold ones. She maxes, no problem. Very, very difficult to stop into Recon. Whereas sorry,
real quick, is it Recon or Disruption?
She is Recon.
Okay.
Yeah, so she is Recon, I believe.
Okay.
Yep. Did I say Disruption here?
Yeah, on the slide it said. So I just wanted to double check because I thought
that is wrong. So she's playing Recon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's playing Recon where she has to triangulate. I have to kill units and then drop those units and drop their consecration token on objectives. Once I get 3, I'm scoring like 6 points a turn. I think I still have hold 1 as well. And then if I have consecrated the opponent's home at the end of the game, I get another 5. So we get started. She has to go first. She moves units up to each of the expansion objectives. Thankfully, my bikes are fast. She gets girls out on my expansion. That's probably a mistake because I actually just fly my bikes over and just lift the sisters. They don't even get to reactive back in. But that's okay because even if she doesn't do that, I just charge and kill the immolator and fly over them and kill them anyway. So either way, I'm picking up the immolator as well as the girls that were inside it.
Real quick, you've gone over it. Could you explain the actual rule for the flyby mortals? I don't think people understand. You're not just doing like 1 on a 2-up or whatever.
Yep. So and this comes from the unit itself, not the character. The character gets the funky extra move at the end of the fight phase, right? This one is if I make a normal or advanced move and I fly over your unit, which is I don't have to put every bike over a model in your unit. If one bike grazes over your base, I've flown over you, right?
Which is the spear tip.
And now it's actually just a spear tip, so I can actually do it with a pivot, and I'm actually using the fly move, so it's only 10-inch move, but with this pivot, it's still pretty forgiving, right? Like if I'm starting reasonably close to you, I can just touch you, spin over, and do what I need to do. And so she had gotten them out onto the objective, and so I was able just to fly over them. Regardless, if she hadn't done that, I would have just fully moved up, killed the immolator on the charge, and flown over them with the normal move in my fight phase and killed them anyway. So really, neither of them survived that. And then I moved up and did a charge and killed the mortifier and the girls that were on her expansion objective. So I also ran my Alaris towed onto this objective to keep scoring my 4 points for the rest of the game. And so I've basically got the expansions and most of centers. I tried to I'm trying to think what I did with the center bike. I might have just left my center bikes right there, honestly, knowing that she was going to try to come for center at some point, and I'm basically threatening most of center. So that went pretty well. Her turn 2, she's kind of shuffling and going to start shooting so that bottom unit, not only do I then kill the immolator in the charge phase, I'm on the backside so her immo is on the backside of my natural expansion there, and my bikes are on the backside of it. So I kill the immolator in my bounce move. I actually bounce and stick the nose of the bike, basically the spear, onto her home objective, and drop my consecration token. So I have consecrated her home objective at the bottom of turn 1. I have now, and I've also consecrated her natural expansion, turn 1. So I have almost locked in 30-some points of primary without my whole, and I'm going to hold my expansion. So I've locked in most of my primary right then and there. This was actually a mistake. I didn't need to do this. She's now going to come and try to kill that bike brick. Oh, my other bike brick did move up a little. They were just still sitting in the center a little bit. They'd moved up. But I've got a bike unit up against her home objective. She has to kill it. My plan is I'm rapid ingressing my Alaris brick wherever I can so I can go threaten her home. I have to kill the Valgons. If I do that and kill that Castigator back there, I'm pretty much going to seal it at that point. We get to her turn. She finished moving. She throws a grenade. She's starting to shoot, and I realize I have forgotten my rapid ingress. That was a big problem.
For those of you, that have been with us, you'll remember about an hour ago when he mentioned the rapid ingress as kind of a key part of his battle plan.
Now, most friendly games, even most early tournament games, the person goes, yeah. Like, you're going to be forgiving. She goes, sorry. I was like, fair. At that point, I'm like, well, I might have just lost this with that mistake. That was a big mistake. I made 2 mistakes in this game now already. I've overexposed bikes for her, and then I forgot my ingress. So this is going about as poorly as a game really ever goes. She does a bunch of shooting. She kills stuff. It goes about as expected. My turn comes, and I get to then deep strike my brick, where they should have started the turn before, so I'm losing out on my 5 inches of move. And I'm now yeeting up into everything, and I'm just trying to kill models at that point in time. Thankfully, I managed to shoot some stuff. I think I've killed one of the suits with Val. I've actually undershot and underperformed there. I also forget that she has Army of Faith. She can just hand you two miracle dice and say, yeah, those 2 anti-tank check. Yeah, here's my two successful invulns. that's good. Army of Faith is kind of cool, and I've killed enough that she's got dice. They started to turn all into 2s, which started to hurt her into the back end of this game. But the big thing is on the reroll, I make my 9-inch charge. So what should have been a guarantee and core to my game strategy required me to make the coin flip, rerolled CP 9-inch charge. I ended up making it. So my game plan is basically the exact same it was, and now my entire Alaris brick has yeeted into her home. I've got bikes up there near there as well, threatening. She probably doesn't have the ability to kill everything now, and she really doesn't. She does her best. Valgon's charge, I am killing Val with my Immortal Alaris. Flat 4 damage is really good into 4 wound suits, by the way. Hitting with Strength 12, AP 2, flat 4 damage, sustained on the hit roll, and then re-rolling your 2+ to wound is actually pretty good. So long story short, my Admon captain takes out the Valgons. And then she's running low on material at this point, and then it's kind of turning into a game of placement. She's walked on at the bottom of 3. She's walked on that Mortify already, and she was going for my home. Couldn't get within 12 inches of that Navigator, thankfully. So she walks in and tries to shoot him to death with H-bolters. She doesn't kill him. My Dakamon turned around, managed to shoot that Mortifier. So now she can't get to my home. That was a big number of points she needed. And really, going into 4, I've maxed primary going into 4. I've actually overscored primary a ton in this match, which I didn't think about. So then I'm realizing, like, crap, she's basically maxing primary as well, near about. And it's now a secondaries game. Have I scored enough secondaries? And so the last turn, she ends up getting up to 86 points. I have 86 points, I think, at the end of 4 as well. So end of 4, I have 86. She scores up to the tie, her 5. And then I score, it says 98. Tabletop added 2 points for my no prisoners. I couldn't actually score, but this app gave it to me. I maxed out my secondary. I should not have scored those 2 points on round 5. So it really was a 96-86 game. I scored 10 points the second. I just had to score any points as secondary around bottom of 5, and that was the game. So that's what I was able to do. Really good game. Neither of us had a lot of stuff left. I think I had a few more units and harder units to kill. She had that uppy downy Candace that was scoring her points. She had just the Exorcist rolling around and trying to kill stuff. Had she managed to kill the Telemon with that Exorcist, it would have been a very close game, and I think it would have forced me. She would have scored the 2 points of no prisoners, and then it would have forced me to score secondary, which I was able to do. But super good game. Logan's a great player. Ton of fun. I love her list. I love heavy bolters. I love seeing no Meltas in the list. I love seeing it do well. This is one of those 11th lists that just could not exist in 10th.
Mm-hmm.
And makes me happy.
Yeah, and something I want to point out is like she has a solo jump pack Canonist, solo unit of Zephyrim and Arcoflagellants, and two solo Mortifighters. So like it's a nice mix of packages of like Immolators and the Minions and the Volgons and the 3 Castigators, but also like these little MSU pieces that she really utilizes.
She can, and this is where my list design helps me is anytime people have those little units that they want to throw up onto expansions and sacrifice, all that is free movement for my bikes. Because I move up, I charge them, I kill them, and I've now moved 30 inches in a turn. And if you look at a starting point, you look at a unit in your opponent's DZ, and you go, well, how does my game plan change if that thing moves 30 inches on me? and that's what happened. And it's so hard to predict. The game's just really, really fluid for a little bit there, and it's a ton of fun. Logan's a great player. Really enjoyed playing against her. We had a great game 5, so tournament went super well. I was very thrilled. You guys Lewis puts on a good show. It really good tournament. I enjoyed it. So, but yeah, that was it. That was my day 1 and 2 of the edition.
Yeah. Well, you've peaked, going downhill from here, so good luck.
I that's the problem is I took a long break and I've managed to capstone it pretty well, and my 20s it was under a 30 game run, which is ridiculously wild. Between my in under 30 games, I won 2 GTs. Also had the great showing at Crucible. It was less than 30 total games, and I don't. I've only got down from here. It's wildly unsustainable.
So you scored 100, 297s, and 296s.
Yep.
You only missed out.
I dropped 14 points the whole tournament. I dropped 14 points in secondaries. That is maxed out primary.
That is not even 3 points a game. That is insane. That is. So that joking aside, that speaks to the power of both your skill, because I couldn't run this list that good, but also just the sheer power of this list. Like you said, you went into very good Blood Angels, a very strong Sisters list. So you pair someone who has experience with these models, using them, deploying them, knowing when to activate, and those opportunities to look for, as well as just the kind of list concept of it. I'm Purge. Here's my bricks, but I could also MSU a little bit. Like you said, you can adapt.
And that's where some of the Purge players are really struggling, right? Like, if you take that Paladin list that very purgy Paladin list, that does not want to run into Recon in this.
No,
it's just going to lose that game.
Yep.
It cannot score enough. It will, like, that game is like 85% in favor of Logan at that point, right? Like it's just such a bad matchup. But I have the flexibility to play into any disposition pretty darn well. There's still some hard counter lists out there. There's still some stuff I really don't want to see, because bikes are just 15 points a wound. Still, my whole army is 15 or more points a wound basically. So like there are really things I don't want to see out there. But overall, it was good matchups, good games, great opponents. Had a really good event.
What, you don't want to see CSM Defilers with 4 rerolls to hit and wound and crit 5 lethals?
I skip them. Now there's less of them, right? And
right.
If they don't,
merely
they don't get rerolls in Overwatch, so I'm gonna try really hard to not let them shoot me, dance around a little bit, and we'll see, and make them really concerned about that Alaris brick hitting the table. Because when that Alaris, you just time the drop of the Alaris with the push of the bikes. And if you can take out their biggest threats, you can hurt people. But like those Defilers are just wild, right? Like I'm glad, like they got much deserved nerfs, but they still just too many guns.
Yeah,
too many good guns, and it's hard to balance something like that because it starts to become fragile for its points, and if it shoots, it wins. If it doesn't shoot, you lose. It starts to get really binary that people don't really. It starts to be less fun at that point, but.
They get put into the category of just the Paragon Warsuits without Vol, for example. That's their problem, is they're still super deadly, just they are very fragile for how much you're paying for them. So
yeah, I know, they're cheaper than my bikes.
Yep, and then the bikes, well, like the reason a lot of people in 10th didn't run bikes is because a lot of people didn't feel like they could go and they could do work.
If you get out of position with them, they die.
Yep.
I mean, they're 75-point models that aren't that hard to kill. Now they're not easy to kill, and some lists do really struggle. Like Grey Knights in general can 3 damage paladins do better. Regular Grey Knight Terminators really struggle to kill bikes. Like that's a great matchup. But there's just a lot of other units out there that can and will pick them up. And if you misplay one and lose 350 plus points of bikes, it's painful.
I really want to see this list, whether you or another experienced pilot, play it into Thousand Suns, because I'd be really interested to see how that. Yeah,
that's not a matchup I want to play into. that's really not a matchup. That's one of the ones I want to dodge. So I was happy to dodge Colin and his T-Sons.
We got paired, but we were paired the round that BCP messed up, so we got unpaired. I went to Logan instead, which is great. I'm glad I got to play her. We played at Crucible, and she kicked the crap out of me there as well, so that was fun for the rematch. But I was excited. I'm like, Tyranids also hate Thousand Suns, but it's always a fun match. It's just a match I get tabled in.
Yeah, right. Like, and it's one of us is getting tabled rapidly. That's the kind of thing where they can stack so many buffs and they get so wildly lethal, and their rules are so complex and just don't feel great. It's just, that's not a matchup that I really look forward to. There's some out there where I'm like, yeah, give me that matchup. T-Sons is the ones I'm trying to dodge.
But so like you said, you won 2 GTs in the 30 games. You're the opening weekend GT you took with only 14 points given up across the whole event. You have any kind of thoughts on your list, or are you kind of just going to let it ride and kind of see what happens going forward with either data slates or meta shifts with codexes?
Right, like the running joke in the competitive Custodes world is that I've pretty much guaranteed that our bikes are getting the nerf bat and taxed. And as I told them, I'm just gonna pay the tax, man. I like my bikes. I'm gonna run them. But really, I'm waiting for our new codex, and we're probably a couple of months out for the Custodes one. So I'm very, very curious to see how that shifts. But I love the jet bikes. I love my Alaris. I hate Warden spam and all that. So you'll see me build a core that looks like this, whether I'm playing with even a similar rule set when we get new detachments and everything will be the real difference. But I wouldn't change much for now. I mean, you can definitely run tweaked versions of this. You can drop the Dakamon and just run a Dreadless Lions list, which will also be super good. I'd be very happy running that as well. So yeah, that's about it.
Oh, that's awesome. And then, again, thank you for your time, for your insights, for other Custodes players, that's stuff to look out for, people that have Custodes in their meta that might, are made aware of some of these things to kind of look out for. We appreciate it. I'm sure the community appreciates it. Sorry, got jumbled there for a second. Is there anywhere people might be able to reach out to? You said you're on a Discord, for Custodes competitive players, maybe someone, if they want to get into Custodes or do play it and want to field questions to you, they might be able to get a hold of you somehow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the kind of the Lewis's Onslaught Discord. I'm in there as Lee. I think I still use my username as Z-Man on there as well. Yeah, find me there. I'm happy to point you where we're in our Custodes land. But otherwise, you can definitely ask all your questions there. Just feel free to ping me, shoot me a DM.
No, that's great. I wanted to give people, kind of a thing, because I know Custodes are a very popular army. A lot of people like them. So, then it's easy to see why. They look like, even more than Space Marines, they look imposing. It's these just golden sentinels of you're gonna die and I'm not. So
they're supposed to be, right? I was trying really hard to get my army over 100 points a model. I was trying really hard.
I think you did it. And just real quick, there is no, 11th edition introduced the additional unit tax. First one is base and second or third depending on the unit. Bikes are currently, they're all the same price. There's no tax.
There's no tax at this point in time on bikes.
So if by the end of July or August, if you're watching this video then and the bikes have now gone up, you know who did it.
Yep, that's the leading theory that screwed us on bikes for a while.
It's 9th edition all over again. Bikes had one good event and then no more.
I wasn't playing in 9th. I took almost all of 7th, all of 8th, all of 9th, in the first year of 10th off. But I've heard the horror stories of what 18 bikes were doing to people back then. So it was probably well earned for why they were pretty subpar for the first 2 years of.
9th edition was insane. Like, the fact that Custodes bikes probably weren't even like top 5 strongest lists of 9th is just insane, because they were very good.
I don't think I wouldn't have come back and played 9th.
No, it was base base infantry, like not even like melee specific, just base infantry could get to like AP3 without even trying. It was wild. Yeah. But thank you so much, sir, for your time. Do you have any other, things you want to share? Any insights or anything before we get out of here?
No. And if you want to try this list, zoom.
Yeah, no, by all means. Like, I'm a big bike fan. I wish more people would have used them. I've been our buddy Jake on the channel. I've been trying to convince him to run like one bike captain with Admon Mortis, like even in 10th. I'm like, no, trust me, Lions, this guy, he'll go kill for like a unit of 5 Terminators, like let alone a unit of
run a Smash captain.
Yeah, just run in there.
Jake Nagy, my Padawan.
I'm 0-4 into him, so you're doing good work.
He's a good kid. I remember his first days of 40K. he joined the Discord, and now he's one of our mods with us.
Nice. Well, again, thank you so much for coming on, for sharing your experience, and I hope we get to play an event. If you guys see him, good luck. This man takes no prisoners, as you saw. He just look. All you gotta do is just score 98, and you win like 3/4 of the time.
Hey, Brad put up 400s.
Yeah, he did very good.
I wasn't putting up hundreds.
You just smacked him out of his path of victory. You're like, no, stop it.
Yeah, that was a good game. That could have gone either way. He wouldn't have gotten 100, but he could have pulled the W for sure. Mm-hmm. But I appreciate your time. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming on, and thank you all for staying with us. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the hype button. I don't know what it does, but I'm sure it tells YouTube you like the content. And it really helps us out and helps other people find us. I hope you all have a wonderful night. And thank you, Lee. Have a good night as well. And I'll see you guys on the next one.
See you guys.
Bye.